Hey guys, Indie Prepper here, another gear review. This time on another Marvel's product. This one is the Firefighter Survival Tool Axe. If you saw one of my earlier reviews, I've got a review of the Devil's Tail Firefighter Shovel, which I think is tremendous and wonderful. When I made my latest purchase here recently from Smoky Mountain Knife Works, I saw in their catalog that they had a new style out of their machetes and survival blades. This one was the Firefighter's Axe. Thought it was interesting. Decided to pick it up just for grins. About $17 a piece, which is the exact same price as the Devil's Tail Shovel. And let me go ahead and say I don't like this as much as the Devil's Tail Shovel. For general survival needs, I think the Devil's Tail Shovel is a better option overall, along with the Cold Steel Speznut Shovel. I've got a review comparing those two in my early vids. You can check that out if you want to, but saw this, thought it was interesting, decided to pick it up. Again, Marvel's older knife manufacturer that, from what I can tell, is kind of fallen by the wayside, which is very unfortunate. They have great blades for cheap. Some of the best machetes I've picked up for the money. Again, I got vids on those as well, but we're not going to talk about those right now. Here we go. First thing, this is a high carbon steel blade that is, they say full tang. I would say it's 3/4 tang. If you look at the handle here, which is wooden, the tang goes down to right about there. Now that's for all practical purposes full tang, but you still got your lanyard hole here on the back side and all that. 3 rivets and a brass line lanyard hole there. So it's not technically full tang, but for all intents and purposes for use, it is. Now, what's interesting about this thing, obviously it's shaped very similar to a fireman's axe, but is more of a machete grade style construction. Very thick though, incredibly thick, just like the rest of the Marvel's machete line. Got this high gloss red enamel finish on it, just like the Devil Tail. The rest of their survival machetes have the standard Marvel's orange color, kind of a blaze orange, I guess. Kind of flashy, not as subtle as a lot of tactical type items, but again, this is not meant to be subtle. This is an odd combination of a fireman's tool, machete, axe pick, etc. Let's start on this side here. You got what I'd say is the axe edge here for chopping and all of that. It's not going to be as good as an axe, but it's going to do okay for smaller pieces of wood, stuff like that. It is sharpened along this edge as well, so you could use this for some digging and stuff like that, possibly a slash if you had to catch something with the edge of this. And you've got your little point here on the back side, which you can catch things with. I'd hate to be at the receiving end of that. What's also interesting, this edge here, again, assuming this is the front of the blade, which is what I would call it because it looks like an axe, I would say the back edge of this blade from about here all the way around is also sharpened, so it can function as machete slasher type stuff. You could take out some serious brambles and vines, stuff like that with this edge if you're trying to get through things. Something more target specific, I'd probably use this in, like branches, stuff like that. This is probably going to be better. Now, you see this right here, this little hole. I said, what in the world is that? Why would you want a hole in your machete or your axe? Well, this is for oxygen tanks that firefighters use, that sort of stuff, and also it's compatible with fire hydrants. So in a SHTF situation, if you need a lot of water fast, if the world's going to heck in a handbasket, and let's say there's a fire somewhere you need to put out, there's a fire hydrant nearby and the water's still on, you put this bad boy on, crank open the fire hydrant, and there's your water supply. I could see some uses for having an opener like this. Probably not one of my first things on my list, but nice to have around. There's a lot of other survival tools out there and prepping tools that have the opener for fire hydrants. So, not bad. It's going to weaken the blade a bit in the grand scheme of things, but this thing is thick enough. It's going to take it. You're going to be okay, as long as you're not trying to shovel with it, that sort of thing. Added bonuses to this thing. Other than having your nice heavy enamel coat on it, this thing's thick enough that if you had to, you could use this edge and you could baton. You could come in here on this edge, which isn't sharpened, and baton some wood fairly easily. Not necessarily the widest wood, maybe that wide at the most. You know, that's decent. You could baton that down. The grips on this thing Unlike the Speznot shovel, which is rounded, this thing's flat. If you see that right there, just like the Devil Tail, which means this thing's not going to roll in your hand as you're chopping with it. Okay, I like that option a lot better. I think I like my Marbles Devil Tail better than my Cold Steel Speznot's Special Forces shovel. Now, what I think is notable about this one, the grip seems to be the exact same style as the Devil Tail, except this one feels a little thicker. It's a little harder to get a grip on. I just think it's a little too wide, a little too thick. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe it's just the style of this and I'm imagining things. Don't know. But it's okay. Just a little too thick, but got your lanyard hole here, so you're not going to lose grip of it with your lanyard there on your grip. This one is not of the exact same fit and finish as my other marbles. This one looks a little rougher. I don't know if I just got a bad one. I don't know if somebody's just learning how to enamel things and all that. This one's got a fair amount of little, I don't want to say defects, but blemishes would be the best way to put it. You can't see it there, but there's some blemishes on the enamel finish back on this end. On the back side here, if you look up here, you can probably see that little line there. Little extra enameling that bubbled up on it right there. I don't think that's going to hurt the finish, fit, and use of it at all, but it's just not as pretty as the rest of my marbles line. So I don't know if I just got one that was made by a rookie here, or if this is the standard for the fireman's axe survival tool. It's not a big deal. I'm going to use the heck out of this thing out in the woods and all that, so not a big deal, but not quite as well finished as the rest of my line. So not a bad thing, but just something to mention. Now, like the rest of the marbles line, tremendous sheath. Tremendously wonderful sheath. Got two snaps here, slide the blade in. Unlike the rest of mine, this one has a Velcro here at the top. And unlike also the rest of my marbles, this thing has a dangler style attachment here. Very thick, heavy nylon, not going anywhere. Lots of heavy duty rivets. Nice stitching across the board. Now, one bit of a hit against this one, and I won't say it's a hit necessarily, but the rest of my marble sheets have at least 2 pouches, or 3, or something like that, for all sorts of accessories. This one only has 1, but as a bonus, like the rest of the marbles line of these machetes and spiral axes and all that, they all come with a sharpening stone. And this one I'm not even taking out of the plastic, but the addition of a sharpening stone along with your weapon, great addition in my mind. You can of course take that out and put a cigarette lighter or water purification tabs and all that in it, but again, these are some of the best sheaths I've ever found for weapons or tools of this price point. So, Cold Steel, if you're listening, take a hint from marbles, upgrade things. Now, like I said before, I don't like this as much as I like my Devil Tail. The Devil Tail shovel, I think, for general purpose, for me, living closer to the woods and all that, I think that's going to do a better job. Let me show you the marbles shovel here real quick. This is my non-use model. Bigger, heavier, thicker. I think the grips are a little thinner, easier to get your hand around. Let's compare these two. This is a big blade. It goes all the way around. It's flat. Again, check my older vids. I'm not doing a review of this one. But 16 or 17 bucks for either of these. I think I'm going to be able to use this one better for out in the woods use. This would probably be more of an urban tool. Digging a hole, you could do it with this, but again, you got a hole here. This is going to be better. I like this one better. It's a good chopper. I've got a heck of a lot of edge here to lay waste to zombie heads and necks and all that. This one, not so much. Yeah, you got the edge here and all that, but this is going to cut better. I'm going to take the marbles here away, well, in a second. The newer marbles, Devil Tail shovels that I saw, appear to have this exact same cutout for fire hydrants and oxygen tanks. I don't like that for this shovel. Here's the picture from the catalog. Again, kind of cheesy, guys. I apologize. But there it is with the hole cut, and there it is with the hole cut. It's fine for this. I think it's garbage for that. Sorry for the pager there, guys. I'll have to answer that here in a second. I don't want a hole in my shovel. If I'm shoveling something, I don't want things falling out, especially through the middle of it. If they want to put that here at the back edges, something like that, I guess that'd probably be okay, but they didn't. So if you've got one of these older style marble shovels, if they still make these, I don't know if they make these standard anymore. I'd go with the solid style first. Anyway, Fireman Survival Axe. interesting tool, 16, 17 bucks. The fact that I've got a fire hydrant opener or oxygen tank manipulator, I think that's tremendous. I think that's nice. Again, I would not pick this compared to a standard machete, but it's got a niche, it's got its place. It's not a bad thing. Just interesting. For the price, I thought I'd pick it up. Alright guys, MD Prepper here. Got to return that page from the hospital. Sorry guys, MD Prepper out.